A note to listeners. The following podcast contains content that may not be suitable for all audiences.
I find it more hilarious that he waited until I was behind bars before he started his rant and raving on social media, which gave me another foot in the ground that I couldn't defend myself if I wanted to anyways.
That day, did you talk to Colt at all that day?
No, I hadn't talked to Colt since the day that I left Rob Nichols' house, whatever day that was that I walked the ore.
So when the car chase happened, did anyone reach out to you that night or the next day?
No, they couldn't have. I didn't have communication abilities.
You didn't have a phone?
I have a phone, have a vehicle. I was in Orr, Oklahoma, in the middle of nowhere.
So the last question I asked you was, do you think Rob Branch is capable of killing someone? You are listening to Partners in True Crime. We are your hosts, Rob and Cindy Dorfman.
We've received overwhelming support for last week's podcast with part 1 of Jesse Haynes' interview, but there was one group that really surprised us.
On March 1st, literally a day or two after we launched the podcast, we received a post on Facebook from the Citizens Overseeing Police of Oklahoma. Apparently they are a watchdog group of concerned citizens who point out unethical law enforcement and people in the legal community.
The title of the article is Disingenuous Former DA Pollutes Molly and Colt Cold Case with Inept Suspect Theory, Environmental Attorney and Rookie Cops Misinformation Campaign Exposed. They're talking about Jackie Bates and Gary Henry. We've posted the article on the Partners in True Crime discussion board and on Operation Find Molly Miller. It's a must-read.
Full disclosure, we have no idea who the people who run this organization are, but we're glad that they reached out to us because the article that they published on Substack is very well researched and is spot on. Let us know what you think about the article.
Now it's time to hear part 2 of Jesse Haynes' interview.
I graduated from drug court in 2019, and I was sober for, probably a year and a half, and then I fell off again, started getting high again. So this is my first bout of sobriety since I've started talking to Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying the motive, it was a love triangle between you, Colt, and Jerry.
No.
Based upon what you've told us, that doesn't seem like it's the case, or it's almost ridiculous.
No reason for me to defend myself on any of that, because it's all hogwash. It's all fabricated. It's all facetious, basically.
But yet they still put that out there.
I know. It's an ugly world that we live in. I find it more hilarious that he waited until I was behind bars before he started his rant and raving on social media, which gave me another foot in the ground that I couldn't defend myself if I wanted to anyways.
Yeah. Well, now you get a chance too.
Now that I've got a fresh mind, and I'm thinking of all the conversations I've had with Jerry Lynn since 2020 and Jackie since 2019. I lived in Ringland, right behind Jerry Lynn, in a loft apartment with a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Anyways, Jerry Lynn's water got shut off because her water bill, she wasn't paying her water bill. So I took a water hose and hooked her water hose faucet up to my water hose faucet, and I turned it on, which filled up her whole house with water. I gave her water out of my,
Mm-hmm.
and kept her on my water bill and kept her water on for 2 months like that. Well, she didn't pay it, so I unhooked the water hose, so she didn't have water anymore. But she's been running around telling everybody that that's what she did for me.
Oh,
she hooked up the water hose. So this is how pathological this girl has. I mean, she's losing her mind for some reason. So with that story that came out like right before I come to jail in my sobriety, I'm thinking, in fact, that she's lying about insignificant things like the water incident.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just her. I think she's looking for attention.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. That's my personal opinion since me being sober and replaying all of this crap over and over and over. And that's the only thing I can come up with is she's looking for attention.
Did the BIA ever question you about any of this stuff?
Jackie actually brought a guy from after they picked me up on this charge I'm in on now.
Yep, I remember that.
But you were questioned by the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
Yeah, Indian Affairs, yes.
Yep, they said that nobody was
questioning you. They actually put a post out the other day stating that you were never questioned by the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
Well, they have video in the room where they spoke to me, Jackie Bates and the BIA. There's video and voice in that room, recordings, and Jackie had on a body cam.
Yeah. Seeing how he never showed me your interview. He showed me the guy King's interview.
Because there's nothing incriminating on mine.
Yeah.
I've been telling him the same thing since he questioned me in 2019. I'm going to tell him the exact same story over and over and over again. If he wants me to tell him in a different fashion, I can get excited about it and tell him, but I tell him, I don't have anything to tell you, So all our discussions was him feeding me information about his opinions on what happened, heat exhaustion, all his theories, and he wanted my opinion. Like, my opinion was going to help him solve the disappearance. And I told him, I don't have an opinion on it because I wasn't there. I can't give you my opinion because it's not helpful.
So the night of the car chase, did you talk to Colt at all that day?
No, I hadn't talked to Colt since the day that I left Rob Nichols' house, whatever day that was that I walked the ore.
So when the car chase happened, did anyone reach out to you that night or the next day?
No, they couldn't have. I didn't have communication abilities.
You didn't have a phone?
I have a phone, have a vehicle. I was in Orr, Oklahoma, in the middle of nowhere.
Do you think, because it escalated, his pointing the finger at you, it escalated after he spoke to your family, spoke to Monique?
Because I haven't got to speak to my little sister Monique. I haven't been able to speak with her on behalf of the comment he said. So I don't even know if it's true what she said or not.
Exactly.
My little brother Dub denied that he thinks that I had anything to do with it. I asked him the same day I asked Monique on Messenger, and he told me no, but she never responded. I don't even think she even looked at my comment.
And when was the last time you spoke to Monique?
I'm not sure.
Couple years, probably?
Oh, yeah. Me and Hannah were living in Velma, Oklahoma, and we were in a store, and Monique come in, and we talked for a minute. She lost a lot of weight. She looked great. She was thriving in her job. The kids were doing fantastic. It was summertime. I was really, really messed up on drugs, so I was kind of ashamed to see her in my state. I really didn't have anything to tell her, but she seemed excited to see me. We hugged, and I cried a little bit, and and Colt wasn't even brought up. A couple months after me and Hannah had split up, and I'd moved to Ringland from Velma, that Jack had said this comment about Monique. So I don't know when he got this comment from Monique, because I haven't got to speak to her about it.
Can you just clarify this story so we can just be done with it? Jackie was saying that that you helped Rob Branch move a refrigerator.
Or freezer.
Jerry Lynn Raymond was the first one to bring up an ice chest or an ice box or a deep freeze to me while I was living in Ringland at Cindy King's house right after Hannah had left. And the way that she brought it up was, she didn't ask me if I remembered. She almost feed me a memory, tried to feed the idea to me that I helped him move a deep freeze. I know for a fact I didn't help Robin Branch move any deep freeze from anywhere at any point of my life. When Jackie asked me about it a couple weeks later, it frustrated me. And we were actually at the Carter County Police Department while I was being interrogated that this question come up. And it came up that Jerry Lynn said that I moved this deep freeze. And I said, no. He said, well, what if I told you that? And the investigator got very aggressive with this question. He said, well, what if I told you that she had video of you saying that you did help Rob move this deep freeze? I pretty much called him a liar because I knew what I said to her three or 4 days prior to us talking. So it was like they were trying to feed me information again, and it really upset me. And at the end of the interrogation, the investigator asked me if I had any questions. I said, yeah, why did you try to push Jerry Lynn having evidence of this deep freeze thing on me? And he got loud, and I got loud, and I told him to go play back the tape where he tried to cram it down my throat and bulldog me on it. He got very defensive on it. Jackie spoke up and said that was an interrogation tactic, yada yada, whatever. And I let it go and left. But I went straight to Rob Branch after that, like a day or two later, and asked him about this deep freeze. And he told me the deep freeze was moved to Josh Davis's house and given to Colt specifically, was what Robin Branch told me days after this whole ice chest thing started floating around.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you say he was given, Rob Branch brought it at Josh Davis's house?
The information that come from Robin Branch to me personally.
Did he say when? Obviously it was before Colt went missing.
Right. I didn't ask any more questions about it, but the fact that he knew about a deep freeze, and I had no idea about a deep freeze at all until Jerry Lynn brought it to my attention days before the investigators asked me to come for an interview, asking questions about this whole thing, and then deep freeze come up. It just kind of seemed very, very suspicious to me.
Yeah, and you went and asked Rob Branch. Did you already know the story about his daughter talking about what she said about him getting drunk and blabbing about something that happened to them?
No, I didn't.
So when did you find that out?
Me asking him about the refrigerator, the deep freeze, 2023.
When did you hear about the conversation that we actually talked about too on the podcast about his daughter basically saying that he got drunk and he started talking about what happened to Molly and Colt?
I was in Jefferson County on this charge
Okay, so
sometime
way
after
after.
February.
Way after.
Yeah, way after.
Way after.
He didn't have custody of his daughter until just within the last few years. She was a grown adult, 15, 16 years. She was having trouble with her mom, and her mom said, come get her, I can't do nothing with her. And this is just recent, within the last 3 or 4 years that he had custody of his daughter. So anything that has to do with the daughter is within a 3 or 4 year period. I've met her one time, and I walked to the house, and he said, this is my daughter. I said, hi, how you doing? I'm Jesse, and walked out. I don't even remember what her features look like.
Okay.
And what was Colt's relationship like with Rob Branch?
Colt had a key to Rob and Branch's house. That right there tells me that they were really close. I didn't even have a key to his house, and I thought me and Rob were really close. So that tells you how close him and Colt were.
But then again, they were probably doing business as well, correct?
That's speculation on my part.
Okay. The clusters of people that hung out, it was a friendship based upon business and drug dealing.
But yeah, on my relationship with the people that we're talking about were drug-related, more drug-related, friend-related.
Do you think Rob Branch is capable of killing someone?
Honestly, he has a rap sheet. He's been in prison for stabbing somebody. Do I think he did it? I've asked him and he told me no and always been there for me. I would like to think that he wouldn't lie to me, to not believe him, because he's always been there for me. Mm-hmm. But does that mean that he's not guilty? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in my dealings with Robin Branch, he's always been there for me. Mm-hmm. Before, I'm not here to point fingers. That's not my job.
No, and I'm not asking you to. I'm just curious on what your opinion is on him.
Now, does he have the capability of doing something like this? Yes, he does. I've heard his stories of his teardrops on his face from prison. He went to jail for stabbing Caleb Hacker, which is a good friend of both of ours, at a party one night. I mean, he has the capability. He has that capability. To do it to my brother, I would pray to God that he did. You don't know who anybody is anymore. I definitely don't know the people that I thought were my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, did you consider Jackie a friend?
Yes. He's given me money. He's given me hundreds of dollars, like at $200, $300 at a time.
He would call me after every time he met with, and he would download on me, and he was told me what his tactic. And he was basically kind of crafting the story. He was saying, you were saying this, and he told me about the Jerry Lynn thing. He told me, he even sent me the video and the recording of that other guy who he interviewed in jail.
Todd King.
Yep.
Oh, crap.
And I listened to all this stuff, and he was saying, I have him recording saying that Jesse did it, and I'm listening to it, and I couldn't hear it. I could hear Jackie kind of doing what he did with you as far as kind of leading him, but I couldn't hear clear.
Feeding him information to say.
Exactly. I couldn't hear the person speaking.
I've known Todd King for a whole 80 days before he went to jail.
What is your relationship with Todd King? Would you have considered him a close friend?
No, not at all. Todd King, he is the cousin of a girl I dated, Alicia King. He stole from me, he robbed me, he's tried to fight me, and I hung out with him for 4 months before I went to prison because him and his wife were having problems. He got kicked out of his house, and so he was kind of staying at the same residence that I was staying at, Cindy King's house, which is his aunt, which is my ex-girlfriend's mom's house. I was staying there. I was working on her house for her, and he was in and out for 4 months. I didn't talk to him about anything serious in life. He's not somebody that you just trust. He actually wrote a statement saying that I confessed to my little brother's murder and that I knew exactly where he was, because he went to jail on stealing vehicles and was hoping to get out on that.
Have you seen that statement?
No, I haven't seen it, but Veronica King, Todd King's wife, seen it, and Jackie showed it to her to try to convince Veronica that I was a murderer. It's such a twisted.
So hold on, Jackie had this statement?
Jackie went to Jefferson County, where Todd King was arrested at, and has a body camera confession of Todd King saying that I confessed to killing my brother, but it's not a homicide at this point. It's still missing persons case,
right,
as far as I know. But I knew that I told him exactly where the bodies was, and that if they would release him from jail, he would where the bodies were.
So when he was in jail and Jackie was talking with him, why do you think he was telling Jackie this stuff?
Oh, he was trying to get out. He was trying to use that as leverage to get his charges dropped.
So what happened?
Nothing. He went to prison.
When did you realize that Jackie was doing this stuff to you? That it wasn't.
When I talked to you. Well, no. When I was in Jefferson County, Veronica sent me a message of the real Cain and Abel story on my tablet. I guess she copied and pasted it and sent it to me. I haven't even read it. When I seen what it was, and there was more information on it. You can call Jefferson County and you can get all my transcripts from my tablet and my phone from them as well, talking with Veronica and my little brother. You can get all those transcripts as well. When she was filling me in, Jackie, she said, there's 7 or 8 of these. We need to do something. Well, I took it straight to the front and told them, the Jefferson County, this is what's going on. They downloaded it off my tablet, made a copy of it, and that's the last thing I heard about it. I deleted it off my tablet. I wasn't doing it.
Yeah, just don't read it. At this point, he created his own narrative to fit his theory, and that was it. I mean, that's clear. Tell me what happened with Jackie. How did you end up in jail again?
I was feeding my habit again. 2020, into 2021. Hannah leaves. Jackie comes and picks her up from my house while I was.
Tell me who Hannah was.
I dated her from 2015 until 2017, and then I went to drug court for 2 years. I went to jail and went to drug court. She started dating this other dude. And then when I graduated drug court, I left Alicia King to start dating Hannah in 2020. We started dating again. I don't know, a few months, 4 or 5. She was home for 4 or 5 months. It's her pattern. She comes, she goes. She stays for 3 months, and then she blows out and takes the boys. I don't get to see them. I don't get to talk to 2 boys that she has. But when she gets tired of what she's doing there, she'll come back home. I love her in a sad story. I don't want to get into it.
No, it's okay. But did you still love her, though?
Yes, I still love her now. I mean, if I could get out and reconcile with her and try to make it work, I'm willing to try as many times as it takes with this girl. I don't know what it is about this girl, but I would fight tooth and nail for this girl to make it work with her.
And this is Hannah.
Hannah.
Did you feel that way about Jerry Lynn at all?
No, not even close. Yeah, I was out procuring more of my medicine, my drug. When I come home, Hannah was gone. I didn't know where she was. When I got to my residence, I realized all her stuff was gone. The only person I knew to call was Jackie, because he'd been there for me.
Mm-hmm.
I called Jackie and say, Jackie.
You came home and all Hannah's stuff was gone. Called Jackie.
All her clothes, all her shoes, her whole wardrobe's gone. Her notebooks, which were prized possession, or her notebooks that were gone. So I called Jackie, and I said, Jackie, Hannah's left again. He knew our relationship back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I called him and say, she left again. He said, I have her in my truck right now. I'm taking her. She called me to come pick her up because she wanted to leave. I was pretty upset. Why would you not call me and talk to me about this before you come to my residence and start packing my girlfriend's stuff up and not inform me of this? Well, he took Hannah to Wilson to drop her off, come straight back to my house and told me I didn't need her. She was a piece of crap. He knew I was in love with her, but I could do better. She's just going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. I kept telling him, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you let me know so I could come and try to talk her out of this? Give me an opportunity to fight to keep her here. He said, she's no good for you. You just need to forget about her and move on. And by the way, the polygraph test that we had talked about, I've told him that you're not going to be doing it. I don't think you're going to pass it. So I was like, why would you do that? He's like, well, I wasn't stressed with Hannah. I don't think that you're going to do good on it. I was like, that's stupid. Anyways, why didn't you let me? Why didn't you call me about Hannah? I was hyper focused on Hannah. So I didn't even think about the polygraph thing until 2 nights ago.
The whole polygraph thing bothers me because if you were willing to take a polygraph, then he should have just allowed you to do that.
Yeah, but Hannah told me my niceness has gotten me in a lot of trouble with her over the years. Just me being so nice to people has gotten me in trouble with her.
When you got arrested this last time, what exactly happened?
I broke into a house that had been abandoned for quite some time, and I stole some things out of it, and that's what they got me for, was basically robbing this house. And I had a pistol, stolen property, and drugs at my residence.
Was Jackie involved in this?
Yes. So they had SWAT come in on me for some reason. I don't know why they had SWAT team come in on me, but there was 7 or 8 cop cars first thing in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. And once they had me arrested and the house cleared, that's when Jackie and the other police officers from Ringling showed up, and they searched my residence and found the stolen pistol and the drugs. They arrested me and took me to jail.
And this was when? February of last year, around that time?
February 10th is when they took me to jail.
So you had no idea he was basically softening you up for this?
No.
Okay.
No, I hadn't. He's been feeding me information. I think since I've gotten here and got my mind clear, and I wasn't even thinking about any of this until Miss Cindy got a hold of me and told me she wanted to speak to me. I'd forgotten all about it. I wasn't even worried about it. That was the furthest thing from my mind. I'm in here trying to do the right thing. But thinking back, he's been feeding me information for 4 years on this case.
Yep.
But then Jerry Lynn would come over the next day, because we're still in our little circle of of smoking, and she's baiting me, Jackie's telling me that he thinks you did it. Well, Jackie's telling me, Geraldine's telling me that she thinks you did it. But when I asked them both, they're like, no, I don't think you did it at all. I'm on your side.
Another question we had is, did you know that there was a photo of Colt and Molly at a casino a few days before they went missing with Bobby Williams?
Seeking the truth never gets old. Introducing June's Journey, the free-to-play mobile game that will immerse you in a thrilling murder mystery. Join June Parker as she uncovers hidden objects and clues to solve her sister's death in a beautifully illustrated world set in the Roaring '20s. With new chapters added every week, the excitement never ends. Download June's Journey now on your Android or iOS device, or play on PC through Facebook Games.
No.
Did you know that they hung out a lot with him? Or did they hang out with all?
Yes. Me and Bobby were really good friends.
But you did know that Bobby Williams and Colt hung out?
Yes.
Did you introduce Bobby Williams to him, or did he find him on his own?
Bobby and my family have known each other. We went to school together. I mean, Bobby Williams was the first person to give me a black eye when I was probably 3rd or 4th grade. It was the first person to ever punch me in the eye was Bobby Williams. So I mean, our family interactions was normal.
Was Bobby Williams involved with you in the drug trade?
He was until he kind of quit messing with me.
Got it.
When I went to jail, which is a smart thing to do.
Where's Bobby today?
I have no idea. I haven't seen Bob. I haven't seen Bobby since 2000 and I'm going to say 2012.
Wow, long time. So prior to Molly and Colt missing?
Yes.
Was he dealing drugs too? Do you know?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay, that's.
Let me ask you a little. Can I ask you a little bit about the drug landscape in that area? Because all these people that we're talking about, these names we throw out, they're all either doing drugs or dealing drugs. Whether it's Rob Branch,
doing drugs, buying drugs,
yes,
pushing drugs.
How separated? Because you would think in that such a small area, a small town, and stuff like that, you would think everybody who's dealing drugs would know who's dealing drugs. Is that correct or no?
No, not really. It's more hush-hush than you would think.
So it's like splintered? Like everybody has their own little cells?
Yeah. You have one big guy that has everything. He only lets 3 people come over. That he'll sell to, and then they go out, and then they sell to their 5 people each, and then it just keeps going and going, like a pyramid scheme, but backwards.
Yeah, and then would you say, was it more than one supplier, big supplier, or just one supplier that everybody was feeding off of?
From my knowledge, it's usually one big guy with maybe 2 on separate ends of the county that have all the major amount, and then they trickle out there. You try not to step on each other's toes and going into other people's counties or towns and stealing their business. So it's kind of back in 2013. There's kind of a respect. There's no respect in it now. Free for all now. Get it where you can get it.
Yeah. Were there some law enforcement officers who would look the other way and others that would bust you? And then when you did get busted, was it like a calculated bust?
Anytime I've ever seen anybody get pulled over and they had drugs on them and the cops found them, they went.
Got it. Were there some people that were dealing drugs that seemed like they never got busted?
Well, that's everywhere. I mean, and it's not because of the reason you're thinking that they pay the cops off. This is little bitty counties and little bitty nowhere. They just know how to stay away from the. They don't pay the cops off. There's not any cops on. To my knowledge, there's no cops on anybody's payroll. To my knowledge.
Got it.
But like I said, I've been gone for. I was gone for 10 years. From 2002 to 2011. And then when I come back in there, I was the outsider, even to my own family. I'm still the outsider to my own family. 11 years, 2002 to 2011. That's 9 years that I was gone. My family, I was an outsider to my own family.
Yeah. So when you were dealing drugs, you were usually like 3 or 4 levels from whoever it was getting you from underneath?
Me, I was getting it straight from the source.
Source, okay.
And then I would take it to my grandmother's house there in Wilson. And then I would have people come to me, and then I'd give them their share, and then they'd go out and do their thing.
Got it.
And they would come back to me with money.
Got
So
it.
everybody stayed at my house because I partied all the time.
You were using your supply?
Yes.
Did Colt deal drugs for you?
No, he stayed there because I was seriously trying to work on a relationship with him. I apologized to him and apologized to Dub for skipping out on him. When Mom and Dad broke up and Dad lost it and just went batshit crazy, I told him, I'm sorry I skipped out on you guys,
Yeah.
I want to make it up to you guys. Spent a lot of time with Colt there at my grandmother's house.
What's your relationship with Dub right now?
Dub, well, as far as I knew when I come to prison, we were good. I mean, I'd go to his house every once in a while, gave him a guitar for his birthday right before I come in. Jackie told me that when he told him that she thought I did this, that I had something to do with Colt's disappearance. I texted her and asked her, and Dub too, and I said, do you think like Monique that I had something to do with this disappearance? And he texted me immediately and said, no, brother, I don't. And I was like, great, because I didn't.
Yep.
But Monique, she never responded to me.
Okay. When was the last time you spoke to Dub?
I was actually in Jefferson County waiting to come here. I talked to him from the cell phone in county, and when Jackie had come and seen me right after I'd pled guilty to this charge that I'm in here on, which is firearm after former conviction of a felony, methamphetamines with intent to distribute, and knowing and concealing stolen property. He come and see me, Jackie did, and told me, we know Rob did it. This is when the shit came out about his daughter. He got drunk, told his daughter something. She come forward. Well, when I get back to my cell, I call Veronica King, Todd King's wife, and I say, can you do me a favor and get a hold of my brother? I need to tell him something. I don't want to tell him over the phone. No, I don't want to tell you. I want to tell him myself. It wasn't maybe an hour later. She sent me a text, and I called her on. She sent me a text on my tablet in county. I called her, and she said, here's your brother's number. And I called him immediately. It was only like 5 minutes on the phone, and I said, look, Jackie just come here and talked to me and said he's got some information on Colt and Molly. You need to call him, because I didn't want to say anything over the phone. I just wanted him to call Jackie so Jackie could tell him what he had told me. That's how much faith I had in Jackie. I didn't know, I had no idea Jackie was going to tell me that, and then me tell my brother to call Jackie because he's got some information that he just gave me, and then turn around and tell him that I did it.
Yeah.
How much faith I had in Jackie. I was like, you need to call Jackie because he's got some information. I didn't know all this crap was going on behind the scenes.
Did you talk to Dub after that or no?
No, I haven't. I used the 3 or 5 minutes that was on there, and I haven't tried to call him since.
I mean, what was his relationship like with Jason Dillard, Colt?
They were good friends. I mean,
Do you think he knows what happened?
I asked him, and he told me he was fishing. But like I said, I'm not an interrogator, and I want to take people at face value.
Sure.
I don't like Jason Dillard, I'll tell you that right now. I don't like him, I think he's a sleazeball, but he told me he didn't do this, and I believed him.
Yeah.
We make stupid decisions when we're on methamphetamines. I mean, it's proven fact. He knew who he's hanging out with. Every time that we go and hang out with people that we know, like Jason Dillard, I just don't trust him because he's done me wrong. And every time I hang around with somebody that I know I don't trust, I'm setting myself up for failure.
Do you think Colt hanging around with Khan was a bad decision?
I didn't know Colin, so I mean, I couldn't answer that for you. I mean, I've never met him, so I don't know his character. And I would hate to just take a character at what I've heard of him instead of giving him the chance to prove his character to me. And that's why I've stood on this thing since day one, even when we had on years ago. I told you I wasn't going to point fingers because that's not my job. I'm not going to feed gas to a fire that's already going on my assumptions, because my assumptions really don't mean nothing. They're just adding fuel to a fire that should have been put out years ago with a correct investigation.
You're right. And
100%.
you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, which they're not giving you.
I was told that my little brother was put on the most wanted list if he was still wandering about.
When you mean the most wanted list, what do you mean, like missing?
On the most wanted list, if he was the thought of him being in Wichita Falls with Jason Dillard, the rumor was going around. I was told that he was put on the most wanted.
Okay, so let me just recap what you said here so we can understand what's going on. So when, according to you were told that he was put on, who told you he was put on the most wanted list?
I would think it was Caleb Vernon.
That was because Molly was missing and there was rumors about them going to Wichita Falls, so they felt like maybe he had something to do with Molly's being missing. Is that correct?
Well, I think it was just to try to flush them out if they were, and this is my opinion, I'm not stating this on any facts or anything, that when he told me that they put him on the most wanted list that day, that's what I was thinking. They weren't, if they put him on the most wanted list, they don't think deceased if they're putting him on the most wanted list.
It's all part the rumor of that they took off to Wichita Falls.
That's what I was thinking. That was my opinion of it all. But that was the day that me and Caleb Vernon got pulled over, and I went to jail in Love County, and I was in Love County for 2 weeks before I pled guilty to probation violation and went to prison.
Got it. Tell me about your brother, Colt. What was he like?
And Colt everybody knew Colt. Colt was very energetic, very charismatic. He was the life of the party. He wasn't only entertainment, he was also muscle if you needed it. What my dad called us boys was the full package.
What does that mean, the full package?
Charisma, life of the party, able to fight, loyalty, honor amongst us. My brother was the life of the party. I don't know how to explain it anymore.
Can you just tell us a little bit more about his personality? Like, what was he like? Did he have any dreams about the future? And I know he just had a son.
Well, see, that's something you have to talk to my little brother JW about, because I was gone for so long. I'd had a relationship with him for like 2 or 3 months when he got out of incarceration. I don't know if he was in jail or in prison. I don't know which one he was. But he was only around for a few months and then blew out. And I was gone from 2002 to 2011. Really didn't speak to my family while I was gone, Terry, and I got married in Pennsylvania and had a wife and a family in Pennsylvania. It wasn't until my dad passed away in 2011 that I come back.
Mm-hmm.
So what I knew of him, it was the criminal side that we were all participating in at that time. I'm sure he had aspirations. When Jagger, his son, was born to Katie Savage, I mean, he was ecstatic. He loved it. He so wanted to be the father figure that our father was a really good father. He just had his faults like most people do. And when my mom left, it ruined him. And he tried to pick up when my mom left. When Colt was 5, I was 13 or 14, and it was rough. I know Colt wanted to be a good dad, but our past is hard to get away from in that area.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
He was in love with Jagger, and I know it killed him with whatever happened between him and Katie. I'm not sure what really happened because I wasn't there when they split up. I just know that he had a lot of love for that child. It was the only child that he had, and I know it was kind of hard on him there for a minute. I mean, just assuming it was hard on me when I lost my daughter because of my stupidity, my own actions, my choices in life have kept me from my daughter Angel on my own accord. It had nothing to do with her mother or her or anything. I was just made bad choices, and I paid the penalty for that.
Your mom left. Did you stay in contact with her, or you just stopped talking to her?
No, she. I don't want to talk negative about my mom. It wasn't really nice the way that she informed my father that she was terminating their relationship. It was pretty deceptive and pretty bad. But she, in my opinion, tried to keep a relationship with us kids in the beginning, but cut ties with all of us. And she moved to Oregon and got married to some guy, and she never really did try to reach out to us. I've reached out to her a few times. My older sister Jamie said the same thing, that she's tried to reach out to her, and she wouldn't put forth an effort to keep in contact. We would call 2 or 3 times, and she'd say, well, I'll call you back, and we'd never hear from her, so we just quit calling. Everything that I've done on my own. I joined the military by myself. I went to war twice by myself, came back by myself. Anything significant I've ever done in my life, I've done by myself. My family has never picked up anything to support me, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to fight for a family member that don't want to put forth an effort with me as well.
What can you tell me about your sister Monique?
There was a bunch of money put into my sister's care when all this kicked off, and all that money come up missing.
Money from who?
Donations, like thousands of dollars that was put in Monique's care from the public. She can't give any statements, any records. My little sister's klepto. She's a kleptomaniac. Yeah, well, when we tried to get another round of shirts made for Colt, there was no funds to do it. And we know that there was at least $6,000 in that account that Monique was put in charge. Anytime we have a family function and my sister pulls into the driveway, everybody puts their wallets and purses in their trunks. And I'm not exaggerating one bit, to hide their money and possessions when my little sister gets there. And I hate telling bad things about my family, but like I said, the truth has to come out, so that I'm just telling you, my little sister is a kleptomaniac. I'm a thief as well, but my family's I draw a line in my family. Don't make me any better. And I hate telling bad things about my family, but like I said, the truth has to come out so that y'all won't be put off track. So if I don't do my own investigating and ask my family, like Monique said, oh, yeah, you finally caught on that Jesse's the one that did it. I sent her a Facebook message and said, do you really think that I had something to do with Colt's disappearance? And my little brother, Doug, too. And Doug got a hold of me and said, no, I really don't think you had anything to do with it. But Monique never answered me.
Mm. One of the recordings with Monique, I guess Paula and Monique were talking early on, and she mentioned your name, Monique, that you were involved or something. Did she ever say anything? Did you guys ever talk about it?
No. I found out right before I came in that she, from Jackie, Jackie told me that she's the one that told him that, or she told Jackie that along the lines of, "Oh, y'all figured it out that my brother was involved, was the one who did this." And I reached out to her immediately and asked her if that was true, but she never responded to me. I just wanted to get the truth out. That's all I want is the truth.
Before you got arrested, did you speak to her at all? Or how long has it been since you've spoken to Monique?
I tried to reach out to her and ask her what she was talking about. At this point, I don't know what Jackie's telling me is true and what's not.
She was accusing Paula of trying to make money off of Colt. And Paula was like, "I'm not making money off of Colt. I was making T-shirts because we're having they were having like a prayer vigil,
candlelight vigil. I went to one of those in Love County on the courtyard at the courthouse. That's met Paula was at candlelight vigil in Love County.
Your family talked to each other about Colt being missing? Did you talk to anyone?
Not that I can remember. I remember calling Monique, but she asked me if I'd seen Colt, and I told her the last thing that I'd heard that he was in Wichita Falls with Jason Dillard, because that was the rumor that was floating around. Cody Turner's mom lived in Nakona, and he lived with them for a long time in Nakona with Cody Turner, and you know, that's right next to Wichita Falls, so I was thinking maybe he was at Mindy's, you know, but I wasn't looking for him, so there's no need for me to call and try to find him.
Did you think he was dead?
No, not at all.
Oh, no. I mean, do you think Geraldine would have been coerced into saying something because of the reward?
Before, I'd have told you no. But, I mean, the fact that I found out that she was telling everybody that she had hooked up my water because I hadn't paid my water bill, that she's lying and saying that it was the other way around when it wasn't. You can even call the water department and they'll tell you that I had hooked her water up illegally, and they said, you know, that if I didn't keep my water bill up, that they're going to give me a criminal charge. I don't know about any of these people, to tell you the truth. All these people that I thought was there for me to help me out and telling me the truth, I'm finding out that they're all in line to me.
I'm sorry, Jesse. That's awful. I mean, what's the difference between a testimony from someone like Jeremy Hodges, who testified against Joe Russell, who they're trying to say they have to dismiss it because she was a drug addict? What's the difference between her and Geraldine?
That's my whole question. Everything that she said has been under methamphetamine and was never hurt again. My name never comes up in any. I mean, it's just
no one. None of the people that were
impossible for me to be there.
No, yeah, none of the people that were interviewed mentioned you at all, and that was my question. Like, why didn't any of these people who were interviewed over and over, Khan's sister, all these people who said that Khan did it, Khan was there, Khan was the last person with them, how come none of them mentioned you in the?
No phone calls, no text messages, no help me's, no somebody get a hold of my brother Jesse. He'll come find me. Nothing. You know, I've met Paula and I've met Molly's mom, and it's tearing them up horribly. I was trying to build a relationship with my little brother when all this happened, because I was gone for 11 years in the military and trying to build my own family. And when I got back, we were just starting to get a relationship built when this happened. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
It's a terrible tragedy, and I'm sorry that this happened.
It is. And that's what I told Jackie. If you know so much information, if you know where they're at, why are they not buried properly?
Well, there's a lot of legal implications here, and it's private property. They don't have enough for a search warrant, so they have to get the landowner's permission.
Jackie sent me the whole search warrant.
No, that's independent of Jackie's.
Wait, he sent you what?
He sent me the whole 8-page search warrant affidavit that he turned into the judge in Love County to try to get a search out there in Love County. I read that before it went to the judge.
Mm-hmm. And it was rejected.
Yeah, it was rejected, but that's just more information that he's fed me, and he's always wanting to know what I think.
Well, I believe
it's not my job.
It's not your job. You're the victim's brother. It's not your job.
I believe he was on the right path at that juncture when he put that search warrant together. And that search warrant should have been approved, and that area should have been searched properly by law enforcement. Unfortunately, the judge who refused to sign it consulted other people who he shouldn't have consulted, and they thought that the area that was going to be searched, that it was going to be damaged environmentally, which was like a cop-out. And so it should have been approved. Jackie was on the right path there, but that area needs to be searched. You got to find out where that is. And that's the goal that's happening now. That's what's happening, hopefully, behind the scenes right now, that there's a plan being put together to search all those areas. But they have to get the property owners to sign off on it.
I just want to find them.
No, I know.
I'm upset that he says he knows where they're at and they're still out there.
Yeah, doesn't make sense. But the last question I have was, Colt, was he dealing drugs too
through you or through other people?
No, the last time I seen him, I was the one with the drugs.
But
I
he-
had the pocket full.
But did he deal too, or is he just?
Okay, so this is the way it works. Anytime that you can get a foot up in the drug game and somebody can front you a large quantity of methamphetamines, we're going to take it. Regardless if we think that we can make the money on it or not, we're still going to risk it. So if somebody had come across and gave my little brother a massive amount of drugs, which happen quite frequently, I'm not saying it don't, I mean, it just does. At that time, I had come across some drugs that way, so that's why I had a pocket full of drugs. Come across a good deal. And if this thing would have went off the way it should have went off, the investigation would have followed through, or the cop was able to do his arrest at the end of that chase, and all three of those got arrested for whatever and went to jail. None of this would happen. They'd have been sent in jail somewhere safe in town where they should have been. But due to the circumstances, which we probably will never know, the things got out of hand and people are missing. And it's a horrible thing, and I pray about it daily.
Do you miss your brother?
Very much so. I just want to get to the bottom of this. I want to get to the bottom of the disappearance, and I think that should start with the police department going out to where the chase ended, starting their investigation right there at the core, which hasn't happened.
Yeah, I agree with you, and we've been pushing for that, and hopefully that's going to happen very soon.
And in my opinion, any other decision that's made without that happening, there will always be a considerable amount of doubt in this case, and no justice will ever be found.
If you have any information regarding the case, please contact the BIA at www.bia.gov/BIA/OJS/missing-murder-unit.
You can also call their hotline with tips at 1-833-560-2065 and email them directly at ojs_mmu@bia.gov.
And if you want to text them with a tip, text keyword BIA-MMU and send your tip to 847-411.
Check the Partners in True Crime website for this and any additional information.
If you or anyone you know is suffering from a methamphetamine addiction, please contact the American Meth Addiction Hotline.
If you or anyone you know has been the victim of sexual abuse, please contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline. All rights reserved. This has been a production of 722 Media Content. Please visit our website where you can subscribe to the podcast, find show notes, and listen to Vi's original song, Take Me Back, written for Molly Miller.